Let's go live.
Okay.
You are live. Hey guys, we're live.
Yay.
I always feel like I need to wait a minute until I introduce myself because I know people are going to be popping on and off, but we're just going to get going. Also, it's kind of early in the afternoon, so we'll just see. Right. It might just be you and I talking.
I'm not upset by that.
Right. Anyway, hey guys, thank you guys for jumping onto our little live kind of halfway through the afternoon, but we are just hanging out, being quarantined or, being voluntarily quarantined at this point. And so I thought we would jump on, and Melissa was gracious enough to jump on the channel with me. This is Melissa from Vandi's Closet. Melissa does clothing and shoes and accessories just like I do. And so I thought we'd have her on to talk sales now and, how things are going. But Melissa got this crazy niche with ThredUp. And so I thought we'd have her on and talk ThredUp.
Sure.
Yeah. And you're just right above me. You're one state above me. I always feel like you're in my neck of the woods.
We're practically neighbors.
She's close to Seattle. I'm close to Portland. So usually when we have guests on, everybody's on the East Coast, so we're hours away, and so it's kind of nice. We still haven't personally met though. Mm-hmm. We'd planned it one day. I just don't know what the universe is like. Nope. It's not gonna happen.
Seriously.
I was going to. We were gonna make a trip up to Seattle for my birthday, which is in a few weeks, and Seattle shut down. So maybe after we'll do a little post birthday.
I just removed the sticky off my wall saying meet up with them. I removed it sad.
Take the sticky down, tears. So anyway, we got a couple people in the chat. Somebody said dating with Trista. Yeah, maybe. I only got coffee right now though, so no wine yet. Yeah. I'm gonna open up my little Facebook app so that I can see who's commenting, and then I can tease them better. So Melissa, you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're gonna jump in. When I first I saw you selling things on ThredUp, kind of like very successfully, kind of a lot of volume right away. And I was like, this is a fluke. This cannot be happening. I was super happy for you and glad that you were succeeding. But I just thought man, she's finding amazing stuff, or she's going to some secret honey hole that only she had, some kind of trick. And then you just have been crazy consistent on Instagram and on YouTube, posting your success and basically how you're doing this. And I'm in awe, really, to be honest. So.
Well, honestly, I owe a lot of it to Chriselle because I took her course last May, and had I not taken her course, I wouldn't have actually be doing this right now, because I had if you look on the internet, there's so much misinformation about ThredUp, but it's because they didn't understand how to use ThredUp.
Right. Yeah, I think we're used to just jumping on a platform and just figuring it out right away. eBay is not too difficult to figure out. Poshmark's not so difficult. Mercari, same deal. You pretty much know exactly what you're doing. So having to learn a platform the way that you've learned and spent time learning ThredUp is really amazing. And you're definitely seeing results. So, you can talk about that a little more if you want to, but.
Well, I decided to kind of just dive right in, because I don't do anything halfway. Ask my husband. He's like, you do everything 1,000%. And I just go for it. I don't know how to do it halfway. So I had a lot of stuff on Poshmark and eBay that just wasn't moving, but I thought it always should, but it just wasn't. So I boxed it all up and I started shipping it off, and I'm crossing my fingers, please sell, please sell. And then stuff started selling. And I thought, well, this is crazy. you max your prices and someone pays that much money for it. Crazy. Nope. It's not crazy. I mean, kind of is, but it's working.
It is working.
But
yeah.
It's slowing down a little bit, but.
So have you started ThredUp and then taken the course or the other way around?
I took the course first in May. I put my first box. Well, actually, I should back up. I lied. I didn't go all in at first. So in June, I sent one box at the end of June and one box in July just to see how they did. And then when I started getting some good results, then I was like, okay, August, I sent like, I think 8 boxes. And then more in October, less in November, and then 32 in December, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, I haven't done 32 ever again.
Over a box a day. That's crazy.
I was going to the bins a lot.
I can imagine. Yeah. So, and just for everyone out there, your box on ThredUp can be 30 pounds or less. You're not really supposed to go over the 30 pounds. Right. So I'm not a math person. I don't know how to math, but sorry, I'm trying to be on Facebook and read comments, but it's not working. I can't multitask either. So,
oh no.
But anyway, you sent a lot of pounds to ThredUp, which is amazing.
Right.
And it's interesting that you started ThredUp after taking this course, because I feel like, and I didn't start ThredUp until I was seeing your results. I'm like, something's here that I didn't realize. But I think people start it and get a bad taste in their mouth. They're like, I got 55 cents for this top. They're like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Right.
And so they get this bad taste in their mouth, and they're not maybe really willing to relearn the platform the way that you have. I just want to talk to you about, like, so do you have an average sale price at this point?
It's about $20.
20?
It's not really an average sale price, because that's kind of the wrong way to look at it. Because I know we're trained a certain way as resellers.
Yeah.
But with ThredUp, you have to look at it a little bit differently. So my average pay price is about $20. So that's the average amount of money I'm getting on each piece. But obviously, I mean, that's really kind of misleading, because I'll send higher end items and I'll get more money, but I'll send bread and butter items that aren't selling on Poshmark, like Ann Taylor and Loft. I try to stay away from the outlets, but Ann Taylor, Loft, Express does pretty good. Anything like office related, because a lot of office people shop there. Because if you spend over $79, you're getting free shipping, and that makes a difference to a lot of people.
Got it. Yeah, and that was one of the things I was like, she's sending in these. I mean, like Express. I stopped picking up Express a long time ago because I couldn't move it. It was ridiculous. And you were posting that you were sending in like Express, and I have a bunch of even Madewell. I feel like I can't move on Poshmark and eBay right now. And so those are all, I went through my inventory yesterday, and I just started pulling a bunch of stuff that's just been here too long, and I'm tired of looking at you. So you're going to ThredUp. But
it's funny, because when I took that course, Chriselle does a lot of high end stuff. So she doesn't really send a lot of lower end items like, the mall brands. But I thought, when I was watching her course and I was thinking, maybe I can do this with bread and butter. Could this work out with lower end stuff, the stuff that's more readily available to more people, nationwide? And yes, the answer is yes.
So to give you guys an idea, Melissa is sending these mall brands in and getting, like you said, you're yielding $20 to your bank account, not selling the item for $20. And when ThredUp has a different pay structure, as all of the platforms do. The mall brands are 30%, I think. Is that right?
No, it depends on the price.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter about the brand. The brand doesn't matter as much as the amount it sells for. So, I mean, Banana Republic can sell for over $100. So I have a coat right now. It's a wool coat they price at $200 and some odd dollars. And so if it sells, like I have it priced at $200. If it sells, I'd make like $195. So it's over $200.
Okay.
So I will make close to 80% on that and that's a mall brand because of how they priced it. Now, if they priced it at $30, I'd make significantly less. So it depends 100% on how much it originally retailed for or their estimate of it, because sometimes that's wrong and sometimes it's over an estimate. Sometimes it's greatly under and you have to correct it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get them to correct it. And that can sometimes be a pain in the butt, but overall, I don't have to correct a lot. So
yeah, that's great.
Right.
So, and you're sending in this stuff, you're doing the pricing, and then it's selling, you're still getting $20 back. And I was thinking about like all of the items that I sell on Poshmark or on eBay, and I'm getting $10.
Right.
Sometimes
Exactly.
less when I'm paying for shipping, or I really lose out if I have a return item because people will return the item and I have free returns for 30 days. So you know, there's a lot to dive into here. And so I just want to get into a couple questions that I have written down. Obviously, we're live. So if people have questions, I would encourage you to jot them down so I can ask Melissa for you.
I can see the chat too.
Oh, you perfect. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you can see the live comments.
Yeah. So crazy.
That's funny.
Okay, so hey Gretchen, you're here.
Hi, Gretchen.
Yay. This is a great question. This is just right off the bat. This person has, there we go.
No.
Never heard of ThredUp. How does the kit work? Do I just send all of the extra items I don't want to list? So first of all, they're picky. They're not going to take your garbage.
Yes. Don't send them garbage.
Yeah, right. So, go ahead and just dive into that question, Melissa.
So, okay, the way the kit works, if you've never done it before, is you can go online and you can request a kit, and then they'll send you one. They'll send you a bag, and it's a little small, but if you just wanted to try it out, it's a good way to do it without, having to come up with your own box. What you can't send is men's items, and so only women's and children's, and you want to have them in good repair. So they do pay attention to snags, they pay attention to stains, like staining on the collar, the armpits, that kind of stuff you want to pay attention to. But they don't just take high end, because that's a big misconception too, that they only take high end. They take across the board, but I wouldn't send in like Forever 21, things that retail for really low originally, because you will literally only get like 91 cents. And that's on the high end of those items. So what I try to target is things that originally retail for $71 or more. And I think an important thing to do when you first start ThredUp is go onto their site, and let's say you have like a Banana Republic item and you have like a blazer, because they price those usually pretty high, like $150. Go on there and then you can say, oh, okay, you have to look at the gray number that's all crossed out, because that's the original price that they gave it. And then you can price it up to 80% of that original retail price.
That is a huge misconception. So when I was going on, when I first looked into ThredUp and maybe considering sending in a box, I'm looking at all these prices. There is no way that I know of to filter solds on ThredUp.
Yeah, there is no sold.
Yeah. So you're not, as resellers, like you said, we're trained to be able to, okay, where's the comps? Where's the numbers? Where's the data? There is no data with this. Right. So you're really, there's a little bit of a risk. You don't know what they're going to price that item at, you know, and like you said, you have to, you can price 80% of what they deem that thing worth. But when you're going on and you're seeing all of these like nicer brands for dirt cheap, and only because people are not moving their prices or adjusting their prices over, all you're seeing is these crazy low prices. You're like, I'm not gonna make any money here.
No, they're not going to make any money there.
Right. Yeah. Right. So when you get onto ThredUp, like Melissa said, and you're looking through and just like, what brand should I send in, and what are they pricing these at? Don't get scared of the other sellers who have dirt cheap prices, because they're just not moving their prices or adjusting their prices. They could.
Well, and another to add on to that, their items may not sell for that cheap either because people have like a mistrust of something that's a really good item being for really, really cheap. They mistrust that that's actually in good repair and there's something not wrong with it.
Sure.
Because I've had items that I've like had like lower, put them back up to the top and then they sold the next day. It's weird, you know, it's like the timing was right, but or there was items that I sold for max of what I could, and that item was on there, the same size, same color, in a much cheaper price, but they couldn't see it because you can filter a certain price on ThredUp. You can see like $50 to $100, $100 to $150. So they're like, okay, I know like this will go for about this, and then they're looking in that price range, and if it's below or above that price range, they're not finding it. So
or they assume that it's flawed or, you know, dirty or whatever. So in that case, maybe they're thinking you get what you pay for. So, I just wanted to put that little disclaimer in, like, don't get discouraged, gun shy of the numbers that you see initially, because it is like, oh my gosh, like $5 for this. So
and just look at the gray number because that mitigates it basically. Because people are looking at the list of what they accept. No, I'd say search on their site to see how they're pricing it, because that's how I go off of when I'm at the bins. I'm searching their app for that brand I'm finding to see how they're pricing it, and if it's not on there, I'm not sending it to them.
I just love that you're doing all of this. You're exclusively from the Goodwill outlet, right?
No, I actually
you moved a little bit in, right?
I'm going a little bit back and forth because I am finding some nicer brands at Value Village, like like you find a good Eileen Fisher silk dress for $10, you're buying it because I sold that for $130. So actually, I made $130. Sorry, I sold for $179. I made $130 off of that.
Nice.
So that was great.
That's incredible. So great. So don't get too scared of that. And one other thing that I noticed when I had checked into ThredUp. I'm going to interchange the two because that's where I sell. One of the things that I noticed when I was looking on ThredUp was that like they would pay you 5% of this brand and 30% of this brand and 80% of this brand. And so basically, you guys, what Melissa is saying is it really doesn't matter about the brands. It depends on the price point that you're selling it at. So obviously, don't buy Target assuming that you can price it up really high and get 30 or 80% because you won't.
No.
But there is some room for kind of interchanging what we think is high end and what ThredUp thinks is high end. So
like Coach is not on the luxe list, and a lot of people are sad by that. But it's really
probably because there's a lot of people stuck with Coach, and we're like, it would be really nice.
But that being said, Coach not being on the luxe, I'd still send in your Coach purses because they do better on ThredUp if they are good, like in good repair. I sold one I got it at a garage sale for $5. I sold it for $150. So and it was not factory, it was a regular retail purse. And so, but they don't even make that distinction. And all purses are final sale. They can't be returned.
Interesting.
So as soon as it ships, you get the money.
Great. Wow.
Yeah.
Just send all my purses.
I know, right? I hate photographing them.
So I'm going to go through quickly and just make sure we're not missing any questions. Can you monitor your items you send in to see their sales status or activity?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't quite understand the question. I mean, you can see it. You can look on the app to see your item. You can see if it's in someone's cart. You can see how long it's in the cart if you click through the picture.
It will tell you if they have sold it or if it's pending. does it say pending or it says in someone's cart? I can't remember, but
well, okay, it's different. So if you're looking at the iPhone app and you're looking online, it says two different things and it's a little confusing at first, but you can get more information for some things on the app and some things more information on the website. So if you look on the website and you look at your bag, at the bottom of the bag, it'll show pending items and it's pending sales because they haven't gone through the return window. And that's going to be longer. So because of what they instituted yesterday is a longer return window. But they you'll see that there, and then once they actually sell and you get the money, they goes down another notch and you can see your solds. Now the only thing you can't see is when they pull an item from your bag, they pull it to an internal bag and it disappears from your bag, but they pay you out literally that day or the next day. So I've not had a problem with that of not being paid.
Okay.
So I know that's a sucky part of that process that they don't show it to you anymore. But you do get paid automatically the next day usually.
And it's the price that you put on that item, not what they decided.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you do with Chico's on ThredUp?
It depends. So the blazers do pretty good. Some of the pants do pretty good. I think it really depends on the design. Now, I think there's a couple different lines. The design by Chico's or just Chico's design something. I forget the label. They price that really low. And there's a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a couple of the other ones. I don't remember. Like the straight up Chico's does okay. Like blazers you can usually sell for about $70 and make about $30 on, which is fantastic if you get it for $1 or less.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Melissa and I kind of use the same method for sourcing. I interchange thrift stores just because my Goodwill outlet, or the bins, we like to call it, is an hour and some change away from me. So I don't I usually go once a week when we're not in quarantine.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not going anywhere. Usually I'll get to the thrift store in my local town like every other day, sometimes every day if I can drag my kids out of the house. But yeah, I have not heard of this brand, Jennifer. Have you heard of this After Dark clothing? Not heard of that. And then do you wash your clothing before sending it in, Melissa?
No.
I don't either.
If there's exceptions, like if I get something from the bin and has a stain, I'm like, I can get that out. I'll wash it, obviously. But I use zero odor that I get off Amazon, and I spray everything down with zero odor, like straight from the bins. Like I will box it up the day it comes home with me, spray it all down, box it all up. They've never had a problem.
Interesting. Good. Yeah. If I find something that, like you said, has like a little food stain on it or whatever, I'll throw it in the wash. Sometimes if it's just like really wrinkly or something, I'll throw it in the dryer with a couple of dryer sheets. But I just right. If I did all the laundry plus my own personal laundry, I'd be Cinderella forever, you guys.
Right. I don't steam it. I don't put it in the dryer because I think they must have some way to get wrinkles out.
Yeah.
They might use Downy, like the spray stuff. They might use that. I don't know what they use.
Yeah.
But some things are wrinkled when they photograph them and they still sell.
Right. Yeah.
People don't care.
Yeah. So funny. So we kind of talked about pricing, or your strategy for pricing. Did we really, I don't know if we missed anything, but maybe just go over that really quickly.
Sure. When I get something and I send a bag, I will max out all my prices. So it's easier to do this online, rather like on the desktop rather than on the app, because the app you have to do the math, which sucks. I don't know why they do that. Like you have to deduct 20% from the price it says, and then you can put $1 underneath that. But if you just go on the desktop and you put 9999, it'll tell you in red right underneath of it what your max price is. 100% of the time, I put it at max, and this is why. You will get things that will sell for max the very next day sometimes. But if it's never at max, it never has the opportunity to sell for max price. I'm always gunning for max price, but after about 30 days is when I start dropping my prices. I don't have a method for it. I don't have not everything gets dropped. Usually things that I'm going to net $20 or less, I do not drop. Like I leave it at max price.
Yeah.
Things that have a much bigger range, like if they're over $200, I drop it a little bit, usually about 10% or a little bit more, depending on my mood. How generous I'm being that day.
Yeah. How desperate we are for sales that day.
Right. I need money.
Right. Yeah. And so then I was going to just touch really quickly on the distinction between a regular bag and a regular box and a luxe box. And you get to price differently for the luxe box. That used to be the thing. Now it's not, right?
No. So back in August of 2019, literally the 18th, they actually changed the pricing structure. So they had two different pricing structures. You could get up to 90% on luxe and only up to 70%, I think, on regular.
Okay.
They collided those, and now it's the same across the board. The only difference between luxe and standard is the label itself. So the label, if you have standard, if you want expedited, you have to pay for it. If you want return assurance, you have to pay for it. Now, if you're doing a standard, I highly, highly, highly suggest doing the return assurance, but not the expedited processing. It's really not worth your time, your money. It's only like usually a week difference.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But on the luxe, you have to include one out of their list of 600 brands that they accept for their luxe program. And then it can be whatever you want in that box up to 30 pounds.
Okay.
There's misconceptions that luxe is unlimited and is not. On their facts for luxe, they say, please keep it around 30. I think their luxe program, or it used to be a program, now it's not really. But I think on their luxe labels, they give you a little extra room, but not a whole lot. And on the other ones, they're really kind of strict about the 30 pounds on the standard boxes.
Okay.
Yeah. And you get free return assurance and free expedited processing on the luxe. That's why that's so desirable, because you're not paying the $10.99 return assurance or the $16 for which you don't have to pay, but
right.
I would pay that.
Yeah, right. You get a little extra time or quicker. I have a couple luxe items, so I feel like I'm going to spread them out through my boxes so that I can just
That's
take
what I do.
One
or two. Like there was one recently, I forgot to put an item in there. I felt really bad. So I put 4 in my next box. I'm like, I have a lot of backlog of luxe items because I've been buying them from ThredUp themselves. I've been buying them from ThredUp's eBay because ThredUp has an eBay.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. Of course they do.
Of course they do. Well, they're stuck with so much inventory that no one reclaims. Because if you don't reclaim your items in 14 days, they own it.
Yes. Right.
If you miss it, there's no exceptions.
Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else have questions?
I want to address Wendy's.
Yeah, go for it.
So, okay, there's a couple reasons people put things in carts. So, A, they hoard them, but it's not necessarily the reason. Or B, is they know it stops the clock. So, if I have an item in the cart, it can't time out. So, if I'm waiting for payday, I'll keep putting something in a cart. So when my payday rolls around, then I buy it. I don't know who's doing it. You can't see it. So it's really, there's that big wall between the seller and the buyers, and there's total anonymity. But I mean, you can kind of like glean what's going on by behavior of what's going on with your cart and your item. Because I'll have an item that goes in and out of a cart like for 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden it gets sold. I'm like, okay, that person was waiting for payday.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I was really down to.
Come back.
Yeah.
That's funny. And there's nothing we can really do about it. It's just, it is what it is.
You can actually contact, if you have an item that has been in and out of a cart almost all the time. Now, I don't really worry about it because people can set auto buy. So there is a way to set an auto buy. Like if I wanted an item that was in someone's cart, I can set up auto buy, and the moment it pops up, I'm buying it. So, and when you do that, it notifies the person that has it in their cart. There's auto buy on this. You buy it, or that person's going to. So, and then I think it tells the seller that there's an auto buy on it, but I can't remember if that's the truth or not. So don't quote me there. But I've seen it on the customer side. Because I've had something in my cart, and then I got a notice. I'm like, okay. Oh, and then I bought the item because I was really interested in buying it. But I put it in the cart and I forgot about it, and then I went back. I'm like, oh, there's an auto buy on this. If I don't buy it, they will.
Yeah.
But you can contact the ThredUp and the ThredUp. You can contact ThredUp.
The internet.
The internet, the YouTubes.
Right.
You can contact them via their chat. I wouldn't email them because their email is like a dumpster fire. It really is. I will call it out. But their chat is really good. And that's how I kind of talk to them all the time. And right now their hours have been from 6 a.m. Pacific to 2 p.m. Pacific. Monday through Friday. So just chat with them. Even if you can't stick around, just put your question in the chat. And I have a video in my YouTube that if you're not sure how to do that, I have a video showing you how to, in fact, do that. Then you just put your question there and then they'll respond to you via email if you're not there anymore.
Cool. Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for them.
It's nice. I wish that like other platforms did that.
Me too. Like Poshmark, can you please institute something like that?
Yeah. I'm getting some like feedback and I'm not sure if it's me. It's super weird.
Sorry.
I'm hoping it will go away. It did. Okay. There we go. Yeah.
I'm my cell phone just in case it's me.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of any other like kind of essential questions or like things that we should be telling people right when they get started. How much time does it take for them to process like if you're just sending in a regular non-luxe box, how long have you seen, like, I'm sure the time fluctuates on staff for them, but what's an average time for processing?
Well, it really depends on your time of year. And right now it's going to be slow because we're in pandemic season.
Sure.
And so, but it's usually not that long. So I've had a standard box take literally 11 days from the day it left my possession to the day it was listed on their site. 11 days. So it's been really fast before. And the same with Luxe. I've had a Luxe be 9 days before I left my possession. I mean, I live in Washington State and then my home warehouse is Arizona. So it's not going that far for me. So it really depends on your warehouse as well. I do know if you're sending in a Luxe box, they only process those in the Arizona and the Pennsylvania warehouse. That's it. So other warehouses don't do it. Like Georgia doesn't do it. They just do standard. So I don't know where they're all at. I just know where the 2 Luxe ones are.
Okay. Yeah. If they don't take men's, where do men's rescue boxes come from?
They come from people sending in men's and then not asking for return assurance. And so they just take all the items at that point. Because when you set up to get a label, it says donate my items or the return assurance. And so you're donating it to them. You're not donating it to a charitable organization. You're donating it to them, basically. So that's where all the men's comes from.
There is an option when you're printing your label to donate it to charity, I think. Is that right? But you have to opt in for that?
I think they make it sound like it's to charity, but I don't think it really is. I think it's just to them.
To their charity.
To their charity. Don't quote me. There might be an option, but when I read it, it doesn't sound like it's really to actual charity.
Okay.
I think it's a little misleading on their end by that, but they can use better language.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of a good segue into rescue boxes. I know you've done a couple. How has that gone for you?
They're a gamble like anything else, but overall they've been fine. So the very first one I did was a shoe one. It got the 50 shoes and it paid for itself. And I did make a profit. I don't remember exactly how much of a profit made. I think I doubled my money.
Okay.
So, which was pretty good. How much did I even pay for that? I think I paid $255 for the box for the 50 shoes. No, I did more than double my money because I got one pair of shoes was a Stuart Weitzman booty. I sold that for $175 on Poshmark. So some of them were pretty good. There was nothing wrong with it. So sometimes they're sending you stuff that they rejected originally. Like it just wasn't up to their standards. Sometimes they're pulling stuff that didn't sell for them. So you're not only getting rejects, you're also getting stuff that's just not working for them and they're pulling it, like own the product and they don't want it anymore.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do you ever pull things or like find things in your boxes, maybe clean them up a little bit and send them back?
Yes, I did that with a pair of Prada driving flats. They actually sent them to me. They had some scuffs. They were leather. And so I just put some Wonder Balsam on them. And I had to do a little bit of brown shoe polish on them because I needed to fix the color a little bit because they were that scuffed. But then they looked pretty good, and I sold them for 150 on ThredUp.
Great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I mean, that paid for that, and that's back. That was from a DIY mystery box, or not mystery, but it was, they call DIY do it yourself or whatever box. But it was the designer one.
Okay.
And so they sent me. I got the Prada shoes that I wanted to keep, but they were a little too narrow for my feet. They were my size. They're just because they're European, they're a little too narrow. And then I also got a Gucci bag. I didn't send back to them because it was vintage. I just sold that on Poshmark for 150. So that was great.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I mean, and that only cost me $60. They're more now. I think they're like 80 or 90, and they're so hard to catch. Like Denali, who is local to me, she finds them all the time. She's El Ducho. She finds them all the time. I'm always like watching her channel, going, I want one.
How do you find these things?
I know, because people tell her. I asked her, I was like, what's your secret? She's like, people tell me.
That's so great.
Yeah.
That's good for her, though. Yeah.
Right. I know. I'm so excited for her. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah, when it can take, like Melissa said, it's going to take a little longer as we're like, everything's taking a little longer. Right. People are staying home if they can. And maybe even before all of this kind of broke out, I think, Melissa, you were saying like back in January and February, things were just taking longer because
of the time of year.
Before. Yeah. And it's just busy.
Yeah. And other people I've talked to that's been on ThredUp for a couple of years, they said this happens every year.
Okay.
So like every year around December, January, February, it slows down because everyone's Mario Kondoing their closet. Or in our cases, we're Mario Kondoing our Poshmark closets and sending everything in. It slows everything down because they don't have the staff to keep up with it. I mean, I've had my Luxe boxes that I sent to Arizona being actually forwarded to Pennsylvania for processing. I have like 3 or 4 boxes now that actually say they're from Pennsylvania. I'm like, oh, I didn't send you to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Process. So I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you probably would have taken longer at Arizona.
Yeah.
Right. So it is what it is right now because they have a decreased staff, and they actually said that on their blog yesterday. So I encourage you to go out and just stay. If people that are selling with ThredUp, stay in tune with their blog because that's where they're going to send any kind of update for what they're doing and their newer policies that they might be implementing because of this.
That's good. I was looking through my email and didn't find anything. I'm thinking that's so strange. I've literally gotten an email from every company or whatever that I've ever given my email to. Like, this is how we're handling the coronavirus. It's like, thanks, Kohl's. I don't really need to know that.
I don't care, Kohl's.
Go home. So anyway,
but that's how they've been. Any update they have, they've been putting it on their blog. So I mean, that's consistent for them actually. But
okay, good. Yeah. So, and then also talking about rescue boxes, you mentioned that you aren't necessarily just flipping this stuff back up onto ThredUp. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm staying out of the stores as much as possible. A lot of people are, and so thrifting isn't an option right now.
Right.
So maybe these ThredUp boxes might be an option for you guys as you're trying to find better ways to source while not actually physically sourcing. Well, they
are good for the bread and butter stuff, really.
Yeah.
The things that are probably going to go pretty well on eBay or on Poshmark, I think that is a good option. A lot of them are crossed out. I looked earlier today, and a lot of them are like, we don't have any, but they have like some mixed boxes, like until like tomorrow. They have like the DIY denim one, and I always thought that was going to be like scraps of denim. No, they're actually fine jeans. They're jeans that they probably couldn't sell. That they own. And so I might actually do that. I was thinking about it. I'm like, do I want to spend more money? I have so much in my basement. I don't really need to source. But
you know.
But yeah, because like all our Goodwills are closed down up in Washington. So they're shut down until April 2nd at the very least. I think Value Village shut down. I can't remember though. But yeah, a lot of our thrift stores, like the little mom and pops, they're all shut down because a lot of them are run by some elderly people, and so they don't. I'm glad they're shut down.
Yeah,
to be safe, honestly, but
be safe for sure. Yeah, and we're not that far behind you. I feel like we're in Oregon, and we haven't gotten a full-on ban as like, I mean, I don't know if that'll ever really come out, but they're shutting down dine-in restaurants, so only takeout. School is officially out until the 28th of April, and then they'll reevaluate.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that are
all the gyms are shut down in Washington State. Nothing essential is really running. Everyone's working from home. My husband's working from home. Luckily, he's a technician for a firewall company, so he's fine. His company is going to flourish from this, actually. But, he's going to do really well. I hope his bonus is good.
Yeah, for sure. I know. I didn't notice how small our house is until about 2 days ago. I'm like, everybody get out of here.
But we can't forget about Facebook Marketplace and Mercari, and I mean source from Poshmark and eBay. There's so much on eBay and Poshmark that people are underselling that you could totally sell for more, maybe later, but still sell for more. And Jomar is actually, it's Jomar. I have a video about that I unboxed not that long ago. To do their wholesale, you have to contact them via Instagram, and they're great. The stuff I got was fantastic. And so the next time I do it, I'm going to save up some money. And the next time I do, I'm going to actually do their next level, because the one I got was $3 per item. And it was a 50 piece, we call it. Oh, what's that word?
Like a kit or
a minimum. Like a minimum was 50 pieces, but they actually made it 25 right now during the pandemic. So they're actually being pretty flexible. They're really good. So if you're looking for bread and butter, do the $3 one. But next one is good. It's $4.50, and I don't know if there's one after that, but I want to do the $4.50 one next time.
And say the name again, because I think you might have cut out just when you said it.
It's Jomar, Jomar.
Okay.
So and they're in Philadelphia. So they're, I think they're only in Philadelphia, if I remember correctly, but they're great. They contacted me, actually. They're like, hey, are you interested in wholesale lots? I'm like, yeah.
Yes, I am.
Love new things.
Yes, I am. You mean I don't have to go to a thrift store?
Yeah. And there's mystery boxes. I ordered 2 of them. I have 2 coming to me off of Poshmark because I like them.
Yeah. And then I noticed I don't get to get on Instagram all the time. I like flip through as like I'm waiting for somebody to finish, Mom, I need this or whatever.
Right.
But, so in between helping the kids, I'll flip through Instagram sometimes. And Nicole State had a really good idea.
Yes.
And I'm actually overflowing with inventory. This is like the universe saying like, Trista, deal with your stuff. And
I know, you and me both.
So I won't be doing this at least for a little while, but Nicole had made like a little graphic that you could put on your personal Facebook, just asking your friends, family for any clothing that you would be able to buy from them, and just that this is what you do for a living, and because you're trying to stay out of the stores, that there might be an opportunity for both of you. So that was a really good idea. I liked that a lot.
She's so smart.
She's really good at thinking outside that box of like, how am I going to get out? I think we're all worried about like, let's just stay out of the stores. But in reality, we have to also feed our business as well as best we can. So that was a really good solution, I thought.
And also, if you can't get new inventory, relisting things that you have already listed helps you as well.
Yeah, just even freshening up those photos and redoing the entire listing. Yeah, moving it disrupts the algorithm, especially I feel like on eBay. I know I'm going through my eBay store and putting stuff on auction. So there you go. There's a lot of 99-cent auctions out there. Like, just moving stuff, trying to get just trying to disrupt the algorithm a little bit. I feel like because I know my sales have been down quite a bit the last week, and that's just to be expected.
Right.
I'm not freaking out about it. I don't encourage anyone to freak out about it. It's just kind of we're all going through right now. So let's support each other and go buy those 99-cent auctions.
I think it's a good idea if you do have disposable income right now to buy stuff from other resellers like the mystery boxes and stuff like that, because you're supporting them and then they get money so they can actually put in the economy as well. And it's only going to help us to do that.
Absolutely. And if you guys need stuff outside of groceries, please be buying and supporting your fellow sellers instead of buying shoes from, online at Nike or whatever. Try to find those on Poshmark or eBay or even ThredUp, because we're really just supporting each other, and I think these corporations are going to be okay. And I would much rather support Melissa than Nike right now.
Same. I'd rather support you than Nike.
Right. So
they'll be fine. They're good.
Yeah, no, just sorry we picked on that one, but yeah.
I know, we love you, Nike.
Anyway, I think that we answered the questions that popped up. Yeah, and if you have any tidbits right before we go, Melissa?
Well, Wendy actually answered our thing about the charity. She said, I think if you choose donation over earning cash on your clean out, they'll give $5 per kit to the charity of your choice. So, okay. I think I've seen that before. So that makes more sense. But the clothing goes to them.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Well, yeah, I would say don't be discouraged about, because there is a new payout, or new what do you call it? Return policy. So it was 14 days, and now for the foreseeable future is what they said. I feel like it's temporary. I don't feel like it's a permanent thing. I think it's because of the pandemic. They want to give more people time, more people more time to return things. It's 45 days, and so it's 46 days to get a payment. And that is a long time for some people, and I get that. But it's better than no money at the same time, because some people don't have any money. Right. So I'm still sending in boxes because I'm happy to still get money 45 days later. But if they pull things for like goodie boxes, and the same thing for their store locations, but since all their store locations are closed right now, I don't think they're pulling anything for the store locations.
Yeah.
But they are still pulling things for goodie boxes. And when they pull things for the goodie boxes, they pay you out immediately. Also, on the return window, people tend to return things right away when they want to return things. They hardly ever wait till the very last day. At least that's what I've noticed with the returns. They'll return pretty soon, but they still, again, you get the money guaranteed. So as soon as it ships, when it sells again, not Poshmark. Wow, look at me. I'm saying the same thing. Sorry. It's your fault, Trista.
Yeah, I know.
ThredUp will pay you the moment it ships. And so they're not making you take all the risk for the return. They're just making you take the upfront risk, and then they take the secondary risk because it can get returned again. And then if it gets returned twice, the last sale is always final. But it's always like really low, like that final sale, because I've seen something happen. That's how I know it's final sale for the third one, because I had a piece come back 3 or 2 times, and I got paid for it. So I'm like, all right, and it popped back in my bag, which I thought was really weird. But they put it at the original price that they came in at originally, like 20% or 80% less of the original price. But I'm like, okay, so now you're just going to sell it for peanuts instead of the price I sold it for?
Right.
For your final sale. I'm like, whatever, ThredUp. I guess you know what you're doing on that one, but
so
I got my $25 from it. I was happy.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
Very good. Oh gosh, I feel like there was one thing that I feel like we should have said at the very beginning of this, and I didn't even say it. ThredUp, if you have stuck with this long and don't know what ThredUp is,
sorry, that sucks.
I totally dropped the ball on this. Hello.
It's online consignment.
Yeah. So ThredUp is just sending in clothing, and they do everything. They take the photo, they list the item, they ship the item to the customer. They handle the return if the item gets returned. It's literally FBA for used clothing. Is how I like to do.
Because they do take new a tag. So
yes.
It's new. It's not just used, but I mean, the majority of what I send is used, but
yeah. So it is all them. You literally, like Melissa said, she sources, she puts it in a box, little odor eraser, whatever you want to call it, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no mannequins, there's no photo editing, there's no listing, no talking to customers. So if you're thinking like, why are they settling for such a small percentage of the sale? It's because we don't have to do the work.
Right.
And I know that you have, you said that you've got a ton of stuff that you haven't gotten through. I always have stuff. My problem is not ever sourcing. I can source all the time, and I've got lots of, great outlets for that. Finding products is not the problem.
No.
It's always
the time is the problem.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I started doing this because I wanted to move more products that I could possibly do by myself, because I do this by myself. Even though it's full time, I do it by myself. Yeah. And also I have issues I have to deal with. Like I have inflammatory arthritis. And so sometimes my hands don't work, or sometimes my knee's really bad. I have to like not walk around that much. So it's a problem sometimes, processing things because of the condition I have. But this way I can just kind of source, which is my favorite part. All of our favorite part is the sourcing, and then I can just box up and send it to them, because they have as many items as I have. Well, no, I've been working really hard on my Poshmark. My Poshmark now has a little bit more items. It has like 100 more items on my Poshmark than I do on ThredUp right now. So I have 900 and some odd, like 928 on Poshmark, and I have like 800 and something on ThredUp. So
wow,
yeah, and they still have 12 more boxes they haven't processed of mine.
Wow. That's amazing. I commend your just like, what am I trying to say? Your consistency. Like, oh my gosh, literally in December you were sending in a box a day, which that's a lot of time spent at the bins.
Well, I mean, luckily my bins are 10 minutes from my house. Yeah. So I can go there for a couple hours, and like 2-3 hours, and I can amass 100. Well, I can amass 100 pounds really quick, because I'm picking up the stuff that people don't want. People are not, they're throwing back Ann Taylor. They don't care about Express. They don't want Banana Republic. I'm like, oh no, give it to me.
Give me all the brands. I don't care.
Yeah, it's like, and I try not to pick up as much stuff that I have to list, because although I end up getting too much for me to list anyway, because that's just my nature, but I try to get things that I know ThredUp will take, like not men's stuff, and get stuff that has labels. Like if they don't have a label and they don't have a size tag, they won't actually take it. Right. So you have to have those two things. But if they have rips or tears, they won't take it, obviously. But, I try to get things that don't need any work, and I can just put it in a box and send it to them. Yeah. And that's my goal these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm finding it more and more like necessary to cut time where I can. I've got 2 little ones right now, and we've got a prep center for FBA clients, and just a busy life. I wish that I had more time to spend in my little garage home office. That's where I'm at right now, but I don't have a lot of time these days. So this is a good solution for me. Because like you said, I'm going to the bins and I'm finding these brands, and I can't bear to just let them go, knowing that I could probably still sell them on Poshmark even for $10 or $12, I still pick them up. So,
yeah, and it's so funny because, you'll do your haul, and I'll be like watching your haul going, no, Trista, you can get so much more for that.
Stop doing this. It's insanity.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to sell this in my store for $6. Like, no, you'll get 20.
Yeah, right. I know. Oh, and then I have a retail store as well. So yeah. I need like 48 hours in a day.
Me too.
But
I have a robotic body, so I can work all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. If you guys have questions about ThredUp, I can't even tell you, like, Melissa is going to blow your mind with the stuff that she posts on YouTube and Instagram. Like, go follow her. You are not Melissa, you are Vandi's Closet.
Yes.
On both, right?
Yeah, on everything. I'm Vandi's Closet across the board.
Okay. Good.
I was consistent that way. Yay.
Yeah. Right? Every once in a while, people will be like, why'd you guys change your name? I'm like, I can't explain it again. I'm so sorry. But
I know, right?
But yeah, I'm going to tag Melissa's store and Instagram below, and definitely give her a follow. And if you liked the content today, give us a thumbs up. Like I said, she's always posting helpful, free content. And it, as always, it always just blows my mind how helpful everyone is in this community and how willing we are to just post free content. And this is what I did, and you can do it too. Just really encouraging. So Melissa's been in our group for a while, but it's really been amazing to see you just level up every month with ThredUp. So thank you guys for joining, and thanks, Melissa, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Great.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.